Hi, everybody. It's LibraryAnn, and I'm very excited to read you one of my favorite books called Nachshon, Who Was Afraid to Swim. It was written by Deborah Bodin Cohen and illustrated by Jago. And I want to just mention that there's a wonderful song that goes perfectly with this story. It's called One Small Step. It's by Perry Smilo, a wonderful singer-songwriter who a long time ago taught music at Temple Israel. So check that out after you hear the story, and I'll remind you at the end as well. Nachshon, who was afraid to swim. In the days when Pharaoh ruled and the pyramids cast their shadows over Egypt, there lived an Israelite named Nachshon. Nachshon's parents, grandparents, and even his great-great-grandparents had lived as slaves. But Nachshon knew that long ago his family had been free, and he dreamed of freedom every night. From dawn to dusk, under the midday rays of the desert sun, Nachshon's father and brothers labored in the quarries, mixing straw and mud into bricks. Nachshon slipped past the taskmasters and smuggled in cool drinking water for them. Neither the Egyptian taskmasters nor Pharaoh himself scared the young boy. His family began calling him Brave Nachshon. When Pharaoh and his royal courtiers arrived in the city market, most slaves fled in fear. Not Nachshon. He trailed behind and spied on them. Whatever Nachshon learned, he reported to Israelite elders. Soon everyone began calling him Brave Nachshon. Nachshon, though, had one fear. In the evening, when most slaves took a cool swim in the river Nile, Nachshon stood anxiously on the river's edge. He put his toes in the water and trembled. Some days he imagined a giant crocodile grabbing his legs. Other days he pictured himself sinking slowly to the river's bottom, as though bricks were tied to his ankles. The other slaves began calling him Brave Nachshon, who's afraid to swim. When Nachshon grew old enough, the taskmasters demanded that he join his father and brothers in the quarries. Each day was long, dull, and dusty. The years passed slowly. As much as he dreamed of freedom, Nachshon feared he would always be a slave. Just when Nachshon began to give up hope, a stranger arrived, promising freedom for the Israelites. News of the visitors spread like a sandstorm. Nachshon ran to the riverbank to join the crowd waiting to hear him speak. His name is Moses, whispered a fellow slave. He says he's an Israelite, but was raised in the royal palace until Pharaoh learned his true identity. Then he ran away. He says that God has sent him back to Egypt to demand our freedom. Nachshon's heart leaped at the sight. Moses' face glowed like the sun, and his eyes glistened like stars. He held a sapphire blue shepherd's staff, carved in the shape of a serpent. Though he spoke haltingly, his message was clear. You must have faith that freedom is possible, Moses proclaimed, holding his staff toward the heavens. Real freedom means trusting in God. Real freedom means believing in yourself. That evening, their hope renewed. The Israelite slaves played in the cool waters of the Nile. Brave Nachshon, come celebrate with us, called his friends. Even today, with the possibility of freedom, are you still afraid to swim? Moses saw Nachshon hesitate. He walked over, bent down and whispered into the boy's ear. Real freedom means facing your fears and overcoming them. Nachshon looked at the river and repeated Moses' words to himself. It took all his courage just to dangle his legs into the current and splash some water onto his body. The next morning, Moses approached Pharaoh and demanded freedom for the Israelites. Pharaoh's heart was hard. He not only rejected the plea, he made the Israelites work harder. But Moses told the people not to give up hope. God will send plagues over Egypt to soften Pharaoh's heart, he predicted. The plagues did not frighten Nachshon. When God sent frogs, Nachshon caught a pair in a basket and let his nephews and nieces play with them. When God sent locusts, Nachshon picked each and every insect off the few vegetables in his family's small garden. When God made the land pitch black with light only in Israelite homes, Nachshon ventured outside to check on his neighbors. Finally, Pharaoh gave in. He told Moses to take the Israelites and leave. Nachshon and his family packed quickly without time to even let their bread rise. The Israelites headed to the Sea of Reeds and camped on its shores. Suddenly in the distance, the Israelites heard a strange noise. First, it sounded like rain, then a large swarm of hornets, then like a herd of gazelles. Nachshon ran to the top of a small cliff and looked in the direction of the noise. It was the sound of chariots. The Egyptians are coming, he cried. The Israelites wept with fear. They were trapped between the advancing Egyptians and the Sea of Reeds. Nachshon knew what he must do. Moses' words echoed in his mind. Real freedom means trusting in God. Real freedom means believing in yourself. Real freedom means facing your fears and overcoming them. Nachshon stepped slowly into the sea. The water rose from his toes to his ankles, to his knees, to his waist, to his shoulders, to his chin, to his lips. Nachshon repeated silently, face your fears, have faith. Just as the water was about to cover his head, a miracle occurred. Moses lifted his staff to the heavens, and a strong east wind pushed back the water, creating a dry path through the sea. All the Israelites joined Nachshon and walked with him to freedom. When they reached the opposite shore, the Israelites broke into song. But Nachshon simply waded in the sea and let the cool waters remind him that he was free, free from slavery and free from his fears. I hope you enjoyed that story, and I look forward to reading more books for you on Ann Abrams' YouTube channel. And again, do check out the song One Small Step by Perry Smilo, and check out her other songs too. She's a great singer-songwriter. So bye for now, and I hope to see you again, and I hope to read more stories to you very soon.